simply bored with his character. It's the same character going through the same storylines for over 10 years. We're just bored with that. And so we have created this new element, where the hero has detractors. The superhero, the beloved, everybody's hero and idol has detractors. You can thank us for the life probably that Cena's career still has somewhat, but don't be stupid. We don't hate John Cena, okay? Like, he's great at what he does. He's one of the all-time greats at that job, okay? But I enjoy, it's fun for me to chant Cena sucks. If the crowds didn't chant Cena sucks the way they do, the matches would be boring, It would be less entertaining. The element of him having people torn has made his character and stuff a little more interesting than it was before. But anyway, I got to get to Lucha Underground, and then we got to wrap up the show here. Because Lucha Underground, oh my gosh, if you're a wrestling fan, you need to watch Lucha Underground. You have to. It's on the El Rey Network. EL space REY Network. And that I have that on Dish Network. I assume it's on DirecTV. I assume you can get it on cable. If you have it, watch it. You need to. Every Wednesday night from like 5, 6 in the evening till 2 in the morning, they're showing 1-hour episodes of Lucha Underground. They just have, tonight is their 38th episode, and it is the first hour in their first ever special event titled Ultima Lucha. And so this is basically the 1 hour, the first hour of the, like I said, if it was WWE, it'd be a pay-per-view, but it's not pay-per-view, it's just on TV. And then next week, it will change from a 1-hour episode to a special 2-hour episode where the final 2 hours of the Ultima Lucha event will be aired. And that will be next week from 7 to 9, I believe, or from 6 to 8. And tonight, it will be, like I said, that first hour will be on from 7 to 8 o'clock, and then will be reran at 10 or 11, and then probably again at 12 or 1, as they show it all night. It's all Lucha Underground all night, every Wednesday night on the El Rey Network, and you need to watch it if you're a wrestling fan. If you're not watching it, then I feel sorry for you. You don't understand. You can't understand. But it's all right. So I'm going to preview the Lucha Underground here best I can, and the 3 matches that we've got tonight. Now, the show is starting off with a Falls Count Anywhere match between Mac and Cage. Now, these are 2 big guy powerhouses that are athletic as all hell as well. Like, the athletic, agile moves these huge men do will blow your mind, okay? And it's a Falls Count Anywhere. So that's going to be a freaking great match to start off the show. A lot of high energy. Our second of the 3 matches on tonight's Ultima Lucha premiere 1-hour episode is Hernandez versus Drago in a Believers Backlash match. Now, what that means is every single audience member in the temple, which is what they call the arena that they shoot all the shows in, and it's a phenomenal arena and element to the show itself. All of the audience members will be given a leather belt strap to beat and hit whichever of the 2 competitors they like, should the competitors at any point in the match be outside the ring in the arena environment. So that should be incredibly fun to watch. I hope Hernandez wins that one. I'm picking Hernandez. Let's see. First one I'm picking Cage because Mac's been winning all the build-up matches, even though Lucha Underground doesn't follow any conventional rules at all. They don't. That's one of the things that makes them so amazing. They don't follow any of the conventional pro wrestling rules as far as heels and baby faces and who's got to win and who's got to lose and storylines, and it's just all unique to right now. It's from an Emmy award winning frickin' producer and writer and stuff like that. Like, these guys are creatively just smarter and more open-minded and more in touch with how to make the product the best it can be right now. And then in our final match of tonight, we will have the Trios Championships on the line. That's right, because in Lucha Underground there are only 2 titles, or at least 2 real titles. I think Alberto Patron, formerly Alberto Del Rio, has a title of some kind, but it's kind of like a made-up $1 Million Man title or something like that right now. I think. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, so it will be for the Trios title, because they only have 2 titles, the main individual title and a Trios title. They don't have 2-man tag teams, although they can have, traditional 2-on-2 tag team matches or match types. They don't have an actual 2-on-2 tag team division. They have a Trios tag team division of 3 competitors. And another thing that makes Lucha Underground so amazing and so revolutionary and so unique is there's 100%, and I mean complete 100% gender equality in Lucha Underground. All of the female luchadores are eligible for all the same titles that the men are. They wrestle a singles match, man versus woman, all the time. All the time. The current Trios champions, one of them is a female. And all of the females in Lucha Underground are pretty top-notch at their job. But so we've got the current Trios champions, Son of Havoc, who's amazing, Angelico and Ivelisse, that's the female, versus the Disciples of Death, who are a trio of minions for the heel, who is in the main event of the Total special event next week on the 2-hour episode. But so, those are your 3 matches for the 1-hour Ultima Lucha premiere tonight. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to get home and fire up my DVR and watch this. It's every episode of Lucha Underground. There is no bad episode of Lucha Underground, period. This will be episode 38. They just made a YouTube highlight video. Check it out. 37 shows, or 37 hours in 37 minutes, where they take like 1 minute's worth of highlights from every show of their 37 shows that are all 1 hour long. I made a 37-minute highlight video. It will blow your mind. It's the best wrestling that you've probably ever seen. But so my predictions. Cage wins the first match, Falls Count Anywhere. Hernandez wins the Believers Backlash match over Drago. And, boys, Sons of Havoc, Angelico, and Ivelisse are amazing. But I could see their title changing hands at the hands of the Disciples of Death. If that happens, look for their evil manager. God, I forget her name. It's like Carmella or something like that, or not Carmella, Carmella, something along those lines. Look for her to come out and interfere, and possibly even Mil Muertes, the big bad heel in the main event. Now for next week on Lucha Underground, I wish I could just take the show off and watch Lucha Underground next week, but I won't. We'll bring you your sports talk. But on night 2, the 2-hour special, this match opening the show is going to just blow people away. Okay, we've got Johnny Mundo, formerly John Morrison of the WWE, versus Alberto El Patron, formerly Alberto Del Rio of the WWE. Those two have an amazing storyline feud going right now, and they are 2 top-notch performers, still very much on top of their game. Morrison's as good as ever, and I think Del Rio is very much in his comfort zone on Lucha Underground. So that match is just going to set the bar so epically high. Then after that, we've got the Gift of the Gods Championship match. That is basically Lucha Underground's debuting of their Money in the Bank briefcase. However, they don't have a briefcase with a contract in it. They have a belt with 7 medallions that had to be earned, and there's a slot in the belt for each of the medallions, and then the winner of this match gets the belt. I'm not saying that it's a ladder match of any kind either. I'm not quite sure on that. It might just be a fatal 6-way type of match. I don't know. Or a fatal 7-way type of match. Not sure. But anyway, that will include Bengala, no chance of winning. King Cuerno, very slight chance of winning. Sexy Star, who is a female, great chance of winning. Big Rick, decent chance of winning. Jack Evans, no chance of winning. Phoenix, your favorite for the chance of winning. And Aerostar, very slight to no chance of winning. Then after that, we will have the battle for Mexico, where Tejano will take on Blue Demon Jr. That will be an intense match, and look for shenanigans to be involved in that match, probably with Chavo Guerrero and some other people. And then the coming back out of retirement match with featuring Vampiro, one of the most famous Mexican wrestlers of the modern era, coming out of retirement to take on Pentagon Jr., who is on a whole nother level. He almost makes The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt look like characters on Sesame Street. Like, this guy's on a whole nother level with his evil image and promos. And I want to say Pentagon Jr. was involved in the unfortunate, untimely, yet very, very real death of a former Lucha Underground wrestler here that took place just within the last year or so. You can look that up if you want to know more on that. That's the second to last match. It looks like would be Vampiro versus Pentagon Jr. That's going to be epically huge. Crowd's going to be crazy hot. Look for Pentagon Jr. to win that, I would think. He's the one that wrestles, and Vampiro's a commentator along with Matt Stryker, formerly of WWE, and they're the best commentator crew out there in the world right now. And just yet another thing that Lucha Underground does perfectly. They do everything perfectly. Every element of their show is perfect. The girl who announces the following lucha is scheduled for one fall. Everything on it's perfect. And then the final match for the Lucha Underground Championship will feature the current champion, Prince Puma, who will, for the first time ever, not have his manager Conan, legendary Conan from WCW days fame, at ringside with him, versus the Lucha Underground, their biggest heel, scariest face. His name is Mil Muertes. He's got a smoking hot chick for his pallbearer, who's got a bag of magic stuff, death stuff for her special whatevers. And like I said, he's got these three dudes, the Disciples of Death for Minions, that are going for the Trios Championship tonight. And he's a combination of Undertaker and Brock Lesnar when he fights. Except he wears a luchador, except he wears a mask, like Lucha Libre style. Prince Puma is as phenomenal a champion as it gets. He's small, he's athletic. The moves he does will blow your mind. You will go, oh, and stand up out of your seat and yell and clap and do things involuntarily, repeatedly, over and over and over. I guarantee it. I promise you. However, I do agree. Anyway, that's your championship main event, and it will live up to everything as billed. There is not one match anywhere on tonight's match card or next week's 2-hour match card that will disappoint. It's all going to be 5 stars or better, if you give better than 5 stars. So next week's predictions, I gotta go Alberto Patron over Johnny Mundo, although I will be cheering Johnny Mundo all the way. I'm a huge Johnny Mundo, John Morrison fan. In the Gift of the Gods Championship match, I am predicting Phoenix. Yeah, I think he's the favorite, and I think he wins. But I'd love to see him go with like the Sexy Star route. I think would be the next likely choice. Tejano versus Blue Demon Jr. I think Blue Demon Jr. somehow comes out with a bad guy win on that one. Again, in Vampiro versus Pentagon Jr., I think Pentagon Jr. wins, heel on that one. And then in the championship, I got to go heel with Mil Muertes over Prince Puma. Although the taking away of Conan and the building of Mil Muertes might be to further build Prince Puma. Whereas Mil Muertes might be a little bit more of a special attraction, not every week type of guy. Kind of how the WWE uses Undertaker and Brock and people like that. That one could go either way, I think. I think Mil Muertes is the slight favorite due to all the odds being in his favor. But I think Prince Puma, I totally see where Prince Puma could win it and retain. And again, you never know any of this stuff with Lucha Underground because they don't follow the old, outdated pro wrestling storytelling rules. So, there is your Lucha Underground Ultima Lucha preview. All right, that wraps up all of the meat and all of Ball's juice. We kind of threw them all together here. We're gonna do one quick juicy quickie here, and then have our Balls Deep thought of the day and get the heck out of here.